Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all upside the head with this morning paper. Where today, we're going to be talking about pinky in the brain machinations. Pinky in the brain machinations. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pinky in the Brain. Pinky in the Brain is a cartoon. It was a Looney Tunes cartoon, basically, where two rats or two mice were plotting to take over the world. Salute to Orange Lily for you. Thank you for coming through. Thank you to the beautiful Orange Lily. I appreciate you for being here. Salute to everybody. We're going to get into world domination. World domination and who is attempting world domination. Because it's very important to understand who these people are, right? And what their desires are, and what different factions are trying to gain position for world domination. Okay? Now, you have two different sides, in my opinion. You have the side in which the governments are very open about what they're trying to do, right? They are upfront with their desires. They are very upfront. The government of these nations are actually in control of their government, right? Like, so the people that run the government within these nations are actually the ones running their governments, right? They're not being ran by corporations, okay? See, salute to the brother Lithouse. Salam, brother. In these nations, these powerful nations, right? They run their own governments, not the corporations. They run the corporations that bring the money to their countries, if that makes sense, right? It's it's one of those things. It's like a true democracy or a true oligarchy, where the government and the corporatists work together to basically run their nations. And they do things outside their nation. They make moves outside their nation. They invest in certain countries that have a lot of resources, right? They're very open and upfront about it, right? They invest in these countries. They have alliances with these countries, and they're very, very upfront about what their desires and what they want from these nations, right? And these nations that I'm talking about, Russia and China. Stop streaming while driving. No. Anyway, these are China and Russia in particular. See, Putin and Xi Jinping, or whatever the hell his name is, the president of China and the president of Russia, they actually run their countries. They work with the corporatists, right? So they all work hand in hand. In China runs basically every corporation within China answers to their government, right? Yeah, I'm very dumb. I'm very dumb, extremely dumb. I'm not saying anything that's truthful right now. See, China and Russia, they are vying for world domination as well. And they are competing with the United States and European nations who are trying to do the same thing, except in the United States and Europe, they try to behave like they're spreading democracy. We're going to free all these people, all these dictators are killing their people and all this bullshit, right? All this bullshit. Oh, we're trying to spread democracy. That dictator is killing his own people. Weapons of mass destruction. We come up with all this bullshit. Yeah, we just bullshit everywhere. Lies, manipulation, genocide, murder, terrorism. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what our nation's leaders do. And they do so on the behalf of the corporate welfare recipients, the corporatists, the bankers, the special interest groups. They pretend like, oh, we want to spread freedom. We want to free the world. Free the world. Make it a better place. You know that motherfucking song, heal the world. We're pretending like we're trying to heal the world. Make it a better place. Yeah, that's what we're full of shit. We're full of shit. Our nation's leaders are full of shit. Everything they're doing is on behalf of the corporations. You see, China and Russia, they have relationships with these nations like Venezuela, certain African nations. They're very upfront. Look, we want to invest. We want to put our police stations in this and that. We want your oil. Yeah, they're not going around pretending like, oh, we have to unseat this leader, oh, this dictator. Oh, look at this dictator in Venezuela. No, you never heard China and Russia treat Maduro like that. Hugo Chavez. They didn't have to, right? They said, you know what, we'll make a deal with you. We do this, we have this alliance. We get your oil. It's as simple as that. Whereas we act like all these nations that we have interest in, oh, they have dictators. See, I knew you idiots we're going to come here and do this. Yeah, I'm bloviating. Sure. So your research. When you learn how to spell, then I'll show you some research. When you learn how to spell, I'll show you some research. But if you come into my comment section trying to dictate how I should present information to y'all, I need y'all to learn how to spell. I need you to learn how to structure proper sentences. Anyway, you're right, DA. But it's fun addressing the trolls. Anyway, so there was a coup attempt against Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. And reports are coming in that a former leader of that nation was the one that tried to commit this attempt. And this apparently happened on the 3rd of January, which happened to be the day that Maduro was kidnapped. Right? Around that time, Maduro was kidnapped. Now, there's some things that we have to understand about Burkina Faso, right? The French used to be all up and through that, taking resources, doing this, doing that, driving the people into poverty, because what these people do is they go into these nations and, because of a lineage of slavery, right? Going all the way back to slave times, you go back long enough, the Europeans went up into Africa, pretended like they were wanting to be friends and like they were, oh, look here, Africans, we want to be your friends. And then obviously they stabbed them in the back and started. Anyway, fast forward to today, this is why these European nations still are in Africa extracting resources. But guys like Ibrahim Traore are driving the Europeans out of their country, and they're becoming sovereign, and they're talking about having their own currency. They built their own bank, right? So these are things they're doing in Burkina Faso. They built their own bank. And now they're going to be dealing with their own currency. And this cannot be tolerated by the elite controllers that want to take over the world. They want to control every facet of the world. They want all the resources. It's never enough. And then, it can't be a mutual partnership. It can't be mutually beneficial. They have to have the upper hand. This is what the problem was with Venezuela, right? Maduro said, you know what, Trump, let's have a conversation. You guys can come in here and we can do whatever you want with the oil. We'll help you shut down the drug trade. And Trump said, nah, pimpin', we want the whole kit and caboodle. Salute to you, Vita Goddess. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. The homie did sell slaves. I don't care what you're talking about who sold slaves. All right, I'm not going there with y'all because you have no idea what you're talking about when you say that. Okay. Anyway, so this is the problem with Traore, right? He ain't having it. Now, he has had multiple attempts on his life, and he has just had an attempted coup in his nation. Apparently, that failed. Now, they got the French up out of there. They said, nah, pimping, this our shit, which it is, right? Just like, what's his name did, I forgot exactly what nation. The president just passed away, but he didn't play no games either, right? But nonetheless, this is the problem, right? The French doesn't like that, right? They lost a large amount of resources with Burkina Faso kicking their asses out. And also Niger stopped fucking with them too. Okay? Now, you guys don't have to believe none of this shit. You can go find this out for yourself. But one thing that is a fact is that Burkina Faso has the third largest gold reserve within its country. The third largest. And the whole thing with Niger, they have lithium or uranium. Yeah. So when these motherfuckers get cut off, they don't like that shit. They don't like it. So what they do is they throw sanctions. They paint these people, they paint the leaders as dictators. Sure, I'm sleepy. Why not? Yes, Niger, Faso, Mali. Salute to Marcy T, the prayer warrior. I appreciate you. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. Y'all ain't got to be haters. Y'all ain't got to be haters. See, y'all mad because I'm talking about your baby daddy Trump. Don't talk about my baby daddy in my BFTB voice. Don't talk about my baby daddy. You guys have to free yourselves from this cult of personality. You understand? When you free yourself from the cult of personality because your baby daddy Trump is committing these actions, because your baby daddy Trump is doing this, you're okay with it. You're okay with him talking about taking Greenland? Oh, well, we got to take Greenland because it's a strategic position so that we can defend from China and Russia. That's the auspices. Salute to Coach B. Hudson in the building. Salute to my comrade. But you guys come to me. I'm not the one doing all these things. I'm just telling you what's going on. Donald Trump told you what's going on. Donald Trump told you that he was going to run Venezuela for years and that we're going to tap into their oil for years. Right? And now they're going after Traore in Faso. Israel just declared Somaliland as an independent nation, right? They recognize them as a state. And if you don't think there's something behind that, then you are sadly mistaken. These people are making moves. These are coordinated These are coordinated moves that are occurring because for some reason they feel like they need to get shit cracking ASAP. They are making moves to position themselves for world dominance. I know it sounds like a goddamn Bond movie, doesn't it? It sounds like a Bond movie. I'm missing the point. Sure, pal. What's the point? Oh, we can't let China and Russia run nothing. Oh, China and Russia, they gonna run everything. Oh, they just gonna take over the world if we don't do shit. That's what you believe? Sure, they might be doing that. So in order to stop Russia and China from doing it, we have to do it. So why is our world domination better than China and Russia's world domination? Why would you want a different reality? Why would I want a different reality than the one where we invade? Yes, what was it? What was it? Why would we want a different reality where we invade a sovereign nation to kidnap their president, killing most of his security force in the process, killing civilians and soldiers at military installations? Why would we want a different reality? What was it? What was it? Why would we want a different reality where we send American troops to die by the thousands into a Middle Eastern nation after, our illustrious government sold us a lie that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction and was killing and gassing his own people? Why would we want a different reality than that? Why would we want a different reality where our country, the so-called leaders of our country would create enemies around the world and make us one of the most hated nations in the world? Salute to Suno Peak. Salute to you, brother. Thank you for dropping that 25 AED. I think I missed your super chat earlier. I'm sorry about that. Let me read your first one. He says, the French used to be all over that, going into the nations because of the lineage, you say. The Europeans went into Africa. When did that happen? What are you talking about? When did that? That happened hundreds of years ago. What do you mean? I wouldn't mind a reality where Wakanda exists and politicians and laws help the people live comfortable, rich lives. See, that's the problem, right? This is the problem. Suno, I get what you're saying. Oh, the first was a bad joke. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Now, what I like in an ideal world. So in an ideal world, you would want politicians to create laws that help the people. You would want that, right? You would think that's a great idea. But see, that's why we're in this position, because we allow politicians to create laws. And when you understand that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, you then understand why we need to get away from relying on politicians to create laws to do anything for us. Does that make sense? Because see, when you rely on a politician for me, my representatives, they go to work and about 800 miles away, 700 miles away in Washington, D.C. And for someone in California, they go 3,000 miles away, right? Your representative works in Washington, D.C., where they stand around and sit around in a building where lobbyists go around throwing money in their face. See, that's how that works. They have lobbyists throwing money in their face. See, in a perfect world, sure, you should be able to rely on a politician that you elect, that you put in that position, to create laws that work on your behalf. But unfortunately, just like you, politicians are human beings, and some human beings are evil. Some human beings are psychopaths, sociopaths, PDF files. And you put them in a position where they're presented with money, wealth, security for their families for years and years to come. Well, then you get where I'm going. You get what I'm saying? And you see, yes, no left, no right, same beast, exactly. And now what we have is a breakdown of a complete open, in-your-face breakdown of the constitutional republic of the United States that the Constitution is supposed to keep in check. But in reality, what you really have, right, is, see, it's breaking down. They're no longer giving a fuck about hiding what they want to do, right? They're just using Trump as the face of it because they still want to hide. The people that really run shit, they want to hide. They don't want to be out front and open. They want to convince you that Donald Trump is some wild man, that is doing, oh, it's Trump. It's just Trump. It's just the Republicans. No, that's not how this works. Because let's say the Republicans, they do all these horrible things, right? They dragged us into multiple wars. Yeah, they get it started. But when Democrats get in power, what do? Do they stop it? Absolutely not. See, the Democrats don't stop the horrible shit that the Republicans start. They perpetuate it. Yeah, they'll complain about it while those Republicans are in charge. Oh, look at the horrible things that Trump did to Venezuela. Look at the horrible things they're doing to Greenland. Look at the horrible things that happened, blah, 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 this, that, and that place. They'll whine and bitch and moan. Yeah, they'll complain about it. But guess what? When they get in charge, they'll continue, right? See, George Bush dragged us into a war with Iraq and Afghanistan, right? Based on 9/11. And we found out they fucking lied about why we went over there. They lied about weapons of mass destruction. They lied about everything. Okay, so you understand that they lied now. We had already killed tens of thousands of people. Thousands of soldiers already died by the time Barack Obama got into office. Did Barack Obama do anything to stop the war in Afghanistan and Iraq? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. What he did was keep on bombing, buddy. Oh, yeah. By that point, by the time Barack Obama was president, he launched the most drone strikes of any president, the most bombings of any president up to that point. Yeah. And then when Trump came into office, he did less, right? It appeared as though he was stopping the wars, right? That's what it appeared as though. And then Biden came in and the bombing continued. And then now Donald Trump has dropped the most bombs of any other president onto brown nations. Yeah. You see, the Republicans start the bullshit, but the Democrats keep it rolling. Believe that to retrieve that. And they convince you they're better because they want to give you free health care. Oh, as long as the Democrats, man, they want to give me free health care. Oh, they want to give me free food. The SNAP benefits. Oh, yeah. The health care subsidies. Yeah. They're better because they want to give you more social programs. But see, in 3 years, because we got 3 years, another 3 years with Donald Trump. Yeah, Biden is the same guy. Biden, Obama is the same, yes. And Marcy says, we all know who the shadow government is. Yeah, absolutely. Robert says, Greenland has a stronger form of democracy than the United States will ever be able to achieve. That's true. That's true. Now, here's the thing. like I was saying, now Donald Trump, under his watch, Maduro was kidnapped. Venezuela was invaded. Their oil is being stolen. And guess what? When a Democrat comes into office in 2028, most likely, they will not give Venezuela their oil back. They will not give Venezuela their land back. They will not put Maduro back in office. They will not do that. They won't do it. They'll bitch and moan for the next 3 years, and then they'll say, no one will say anything about it. No one will talk about it. No one will talk about how Venezuela still doesn't have its sovereignty. People will just be quiet about it. They'll ignore it. I don't care if you can take me seriously, Derek Warren. Get your ass out of here then. Why are you here? I can't take it seriously. You're taking me seriously enough to write in my chat. You know how stupid y'all sound? The Democrats, they won't help Venezuela. They'll continue the shit. They'll continue to allow the corporations to stay up in there and enrich themselves and enrich them. Yeah, I'm just throwing out words. Why not? Sure. And the Democrats will keep it up. Just like the Democrats helped the Afghanistan war continue for 20 years. Yeah. So, I have no faith in politicians at all whatsoever. Fuck them both. I don't vote. Fuck them. And to continue to believe that voting in a system that you know oppresses you because you think your vote is going to help them stop you from help stopping them from oppressing you. That's the wildest shit ever to me. You think that you're going to vote somebody in the office to operate within a government that oppresses you and use that government system to somehow get them to stop oppressing you. That's the wildest shit to me. Salute to Queen Mother Shakila in the building. Salute to the beautiful Queen Mother Shakila. Thank you for coming through. And that's the wildest thing to me. Believing that the United States corporation, which is designed to benefit the corporations and the elite class by way of oppressing the people, you think that going through their system and using their rules to stop the oppression, it's a sad thing to me. And this is why Donald Trump can do what he does. Because nobody who voted for Donald Trump voted for him to run up and through Venezuela and kidnap their president. No one voted for Donald Trump so that he could try to take Greenland and buy Greenland. But he's going to do what he wants to do. So that's how it works. That's how it works. That's how these politicians work. They don't give a fuck about what you think. Once they get into that office, once they get into that position, they do what they want to do. And if they don't, if they want to do something different than the system would allow, they're not going to get shit done because they're going to get frozen out. They're going to be made impotent. Right? They're not going to get a lot of shit done. They're going to get ostracized. Right? If they're on a committee, they're going to get taken off committees. That's how it works. Right? And then they get pushed out and they resign. Kind of like what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene. If that's real, if what really happened to her really happened to her. Yeah. She started to upset the apple cart and they froze her out. Donald Trump went in on her. And guess what she had to do? She had to retire, but she had to make sure she got a retirement first. Can't be mad at her. But that's an example of who the type of person that tries to use the government to stop the bullshit the government's doing. That's how they get treated. It happened to squad members too on the other side. I forgot their name. It's two of them squad members on the left. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that is what's going on. They're attempting to unseat and get rid of Traore, and the president of Burkina Faso, so that they could run up and through there again and start, extracting the resources and keep the people down and keep them impoverished. That's how they do these things. And then they blame those people for being impoverished. Well, you're stealing from them and you're oppressing them. So what do you expect them to do? Anyway. And then now Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland, and Marco Rubio is meeting with the Danish motherfuckers next week to talk about it. They're really trying to do this, y'all. Now, there were some envoys from Greenland that came out to have a discussion at the White House, but no one knows what they talked about. They won't say what was talked about, and the White House won't say what was talked about. But we do know that Marco Rubio is going out there to talk about snatching Greenland from the Danish or whatever, Danish, Dutch, whatever the fuck. You're saying we're invading Greenland in dumb media. When did I say we're invading Greenland? You motherfuckers don't listen, do you? Man, y'all are slow. I never said that we're invading Greenland, you asshat. I said Donald Trump is trying to purchase Greenland. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. If you hit the like button, I see y'all are being stingy with the like button today, but that's okay. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the super chat from Suno Peak. I appreciate you, my brother or sister or whatever. I don't know what you are, but I appreciate everybody. I know Coach Hudson is selective hearing. Make sure y'all hit that double tap on the way out. Double tap that on the way out. Yeah, asshats. They whack as fuck, but I want people to see it. I love it. This is what we have to deal with in the real world. See, these people are in the real world. I know we think they're trolls, but even if they're behaving as trolls in the comments, some of them are real people. I know there may be bots and all that stuff, but trust and believe this is representative of what's going on in the real world. If you try to push the message of freedom and independence and self-sufficiency, this is what you run into. And that's why I like it. I want it to happen in my comment section because, I don't want an echo chamber, and I want people to see what the opposing views are and how they present those opposing views. Snatching Greenland from the Danish, what does that have to do with anything that hasn't happened? And it's all skeptical. I guess I made up that they're talking about buying Greenland from, y'all can't be this slow. Are you, really? Goodness gracious. Y'all got to do better, man. By purchasing, I mean we can Putin this shit out of it. We can do that if that makes you better. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for coming through. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, man, and listen. At some point, we have to come to the realization that at the very least, these people, the government, our leaders, don't really give a shit about us. And we need to start working on doing for self. That is the solution. The solution is become self-sufficient, become independent, become resourceful. And when they cut your ass off or when you decouple, you'll be okay. That's really what it's all about. And defend and be prepared to defend what's yours. And you might have to give your life up for it. But that's how it works. Everybody's going to die someday. Now you can die laying down or you can die on your feet. You choose.